What's going on, everybody? I'm Jamie. This is the Blades and EDC channel, and I'm back with another Twosun for you. This one is the Twosun TS169, and this is a very interesting knife. It's a good looking knife. Reminds me of like a folding steak knife, the shape of it. Very slender flipper. Flipper only, although you wouldn't think it would be a flipper only by looking at it. Looks like it has jimping. Well, it does have jimping right here, but it looks like it's jimping for a front flipper, right? Because when the blade is closed like this, that jimping is exposed. When the blade is open, you can't touch that jimping. It's inside the handle. So I don't understand why it's there. It's a little odd to me, because you can't front flip this knife. I've tried and tried. Can't even get it to remotely come out. So it will not front flip. So I don't know what's up with that jimping. It's not there for grip, and it's not there for front flipping. I think that maybe they intended this to be a front flipper, and for some reason it did not work out, and they decided to just leave the jimping on there. I don't know. That I don't know. But the flipper action is really good on this knife. Really, really good. It has a very interesting blade too. It's like a spear point with a clipped off the end, like a clip point, spear point. You see that? How that? Hopefully that shows up on camera. It's coming out like a spear, but then right here it clips down. So very different kind of blade shape. Very thin behind the edge also. And the blade thickness is 140 thousandths, so it's not super thin blade stock, but it's very thin down here behind the edge. Full flat grind, M390 blade, titanium handles. This is another night morning design. Something else that's really interesting with this knife. This is the Twosun pivot, right? They use this on all their knives. And this is the pivot screw they use on all their knives. Well, look at this end. It's got another pivot, right? It's a very simple construction. Two screws holding this entire knife together. The pivot screw and the pocket clip screw, which goes through and hits the other pivot. Very cool looking too. It makes it look super sleek, in my opinion. I love the way this knife looks. I also love the way it carries in pocket because it's so thin. This is definitely a good gentleman's carry knife right here. Without a doubt, this is a good gentleman's carry knife. Titanium backspacer. Got milling. It's all horizontal milling on the handle. Hopefully that will show up good for you. And then you got like a notch out here in the middle on both sides, and they even continue that over into the pocket clip here, that notch, and made it part of the lock bar, so it looks super sleek. It reminds me of Monterey Bay knives. I think it's the slayback with that notch through the middle, and then some other Ray Laconico designs, very similar to some of those. Not a copy or anything, don't take that the wrong way, they didn't copy anybody, but it gives me those vibes. Now this knife runs $110. Oh, get my finger in the lock bar. And this is another one, man, for the money. It's hard to beat it. It's a good looking knife. Very well made. Premium materials. And just look at it, as Bees Blades would say. This is one of those that, it is a fingerprint magnet, of course. But this is one of those that, to me, it just looks good. You can carry this knife anywhere, you know. You don't have to worry about, you know, people getting upset about it or being intimidated by it. Let's give you some size comparisons real quick. Here it is against the Benchmade Bug Out. So quite a bit longer than a Bug Out. And here it is against the QSP Penguin. Quite a bit longer than the Penguin. Long and slender, but the handles are contoured really well, so it's very comfortable in hand. Here it is against the Yojimbo 2 and the Pair 3. So yeah, a lot longer. Very cool knife. Give you specs on it real quick. As I said, long and slender. Overall length is just under 8.5 inches, 8.43 inches. Blade length is 3.54 inches. Handle length is 4.72 inches. Blade width is 0.85 inches. M390 steel. Satin finish on the blade. On ceramic cage ball bearings. Has a steel lock bar insert in here. Yeah. The weight, claimed weight on it is 3.46 ounces. That feels about right, but let's verify. Feels right to me. Twosun's been pretty accurate with theirs, at least on White Mountain Knives website anyway. Alright, what do we have here? 3.4 ounces, 3.5. They claim 3.46, so it's dead on. Now this is a really interesting knife. You know, it's one of those, I really like it, but I know I would absolutely love it if the front flipper actually worked. You know what I mean? It's so kind of disappointing at the same time as being fantastic. It is really, really nice. I mean, this thing feels so good in hand. It's really premium feeling. But man, if they'd have just done this jimping right, I think it's because of how thin this is. They couldn't get far enough away from the pivot where you can get the leverage needed to front flip the blade. It's because, I mean, I can even try to pull this down with my fingernails here and I can't get this thing out. And it doesn't have the strongest detent. I mean, it's got a good detent, but it's not like super duper strong. So it's like it even has a lighter detent for a flipper. And then the flipper, the actual flipper tab is so minuscule and minute. Barely even know it's there. So not going to get caught in your pants or anything. But it works great. It works really well. So got good drop shut action for lighter weight blade. I got lotion on my hands. Bad time to be doing a knife overview, right? Yeah, I really like this one. You know, something I would probably say would be a good comparison knife to this would be something like the Feist. The Feist would be something. Of course, it's a lot smaller, but it's that slim profile, right? What was the other one I just did? The Vaso, the Megaround Vaso. Let me get that real quick, show you that one. Just similar to those knives, but more premium. But compared to that Feist, there's a big difference here, and I'll show you what I mean in just a second. I should have got this out before I started. So the Vaso, another front flipper, but similar. Similar shape here. Very similar shape, sleek and slender, right? This Vaso runs $38. DC53 steel, micarta, titanium pocket clip. This Feist, $75. Denim micarta, no titanium anywhere. Stainless steel. I think it's 154 cm if I remember correctly. And then you can get this for $100. Well, with the discount code, you can get it for $100. So the Feist costs almost as much as this, and this is half the price of, a little less than half the price of this, and half the price of that. So, yeah, makes you. I like Kaiser and all, but some of these knives make me think Kaiser's getting a little overpriced. Just my opinion. Either that or Megaround and Twosun are really underpriced. And one more thing to point out this knife: the lock bar. Lock bar works great. It is a little sharper on the thumb though. There's not much room, as you can see. They didn't put any cutout on the show side to get in there, but they did notch out a little bit on both sides of the scale, so you can get the meat of your thumb in there. And it's a little sharp on the edge right there. Not like painful sharp if you're used to opening, using a lock bar and you've built up that callus on your thumb. But if you've got, softer fingers, this one will hurt you for sure. So I wanted to point that out. All right, guys, that's going to do it on this one. Hit that like button, subscribe if you are new, and I will see you on the next one.